your playlist might actually be making you dumber. Here's the thing, most people throw on their favorite songs while they work, and it genuinely feels productive, but your brain is secretly splitting its attention between the lyrics, the melody, and the actual task, which means you're running at maybe 60% capacity without even knowing it. Music with lyrics activates your language processing center, which is the exact same part of your brain you use for reading, writing, and critical thinking, so every time a word hits your ears, your brain briefly diverts resources away from what you're actually trying to do. It's like trying to write an email while someone reads a different email out loud to you. But here's where it gets wild, not all music kills focus, some of it literally amplifies it, and researchers at Cambridge found that certain types of music can improve cognitive performance by up to 15%, which means the right playlist isn't a distraction, it's basically a legal performance drug you can access for free. The difference between focus music and distraction music comes down to one thing, predictability, because your brain craves novelty in your favorite songs, the drop, the chorus, that guitar solo, and every time it anticipates something exciting, it pulls attention away from your work and toward the music itself. Think about the last time you got completely lost in a task, like genuinely locked in, time disappeared, nothing else existed, chances are there was either silence or something consistent playing in the background, because your brain wasn't being pulled in two directions at once. This is called the Mozart effect, and while the original study got way overhyped in the 90s, the real science underneath it is solid as structured. Instrumental music with a tempo between 60 and 80 beats per minute actually synchronizes with your brain's natural processing rhythm and helps sustain attention for longer periods. So what actually works? The big three are classical music, lo-fi hip-hop, and binaural beats. Each one hits differently depending on what kind of work you're doing, and matching the music to the task type is honestly the single biggest unlock most people completely skip. Classical music, specifically Baroque composers like Bach, Handel, and Vivaldi, is elite for analytical work, math, logic problems, any task that requires sequential thinking, because the structure of Baroque composition mirrors the way your prefrontal cortex organizes information, and yes, that's a real thing neuroscientists actually talk about. But here's a question worth sitting with: when was the last time you actually experimented with your audio environment instead of just defaulting to the same playlist you've used since college? Because most people set this on autopilot and then wonder why their focus is inconsistent. Lo-fi hip-hop is probably the most accessible entry point, and there's a reason those lo-fi study streams on YouTube pull millions of simultaneous listeners. The deliberately imperfect production, the muffled kicks, the looping melodies create what psychologists call a sonic blanket that reduces ambient distraction without demanding your attention. The key with lo-fi is that it works best for creative and writing tasks, not deep analytical work, because the slight groove and warmth keeps your creative brain loosened up and flowing, while the lack of lyrics means your language center stays fully available for the words you're actually trying to produce. Binaural beats are the weird one, and if you haven't tried them, you need to tonight. They work by playing two slightly different frequencies in each ear, and your brain actually generates a third frequency to reconcile the difference, which directly influences your brainwave state and can push you into alpha or theta, the zones associated with deep focus and creative insight. Here's where it gets wild. NASA actually studied binaural beats and found they could help with cognitive performance in high-stress environments, and multiple clinical studies show 40 Hz gamma binaural beats specifically improve memory recall and sustain attention, which means this isn't fringe wellness stuff, this is aerospace-grade brain optimization. The volume question matters way more than people realize. Most people blast music too loud thinking more input equals more energy, but research from the University of Illinois found that moderate ambient noise around 70 decibels, roughly the level of a coffee shop, is actually the sweet spot for creative thinking, while anything above 85 decibels starts degrading performance fast. So if you're one of those people who cranks music to feel pumped before a deep work session, you're actually flooding your auditory cortex with too much stimulation and making it harder for your prefrontal cortex to settle into sustained concentration. You want engaged, not overwhelmed. But hold on, what about people who genuinely can't focus in silence? Because for some brains, total quiet is actually worse. The absence of sound lets the inner critic get louder, anxiety creeps in, and the brain starts generating its own distracting noise through rumination and racing thoughts. If you're one of those people, and honestly a lot of high achievers are, the answer isn't to avoid music, it's to use background noise as a cognitive anchor, something consistent enough to give your brain a gentle external rhythm to latch onto so it stops creating internal chaos just to fill the void. There's a sequencing strategy called the focus stack that nobody talks about, and it works like this: you use upbeat, energizing music for the first 5 minutes to overcome the activation energy of starting, then you transition to pure instrumental or binaural beats once you're actually in the work, because the hardest part is always just getting started. The transition moment matters. Don't just let your pump-up playlist keep playing once you're working. That's where most people lose the benefit. Set an actual 5-minute timer, and when it goes off, consciously switch to your focus track. That deliberate shift signals to your brain that it's time to go deep. Here's where it gets wild. There's research showing that having a consistent focus song that you only ever play during deep work can actually train a Pavlovian response in your brain over time. So after a few weeks, just hearing the first few seconds of that track triggers a focus state almost automatically. This is the same principle professional athletes use with pre-performance rituals. The music isn't just background noise, it becomes a condition cue that your nervous system associates with peak performance, and once that association is built, it becomes one of the most reliable focus triggers you have. Now, certain tasks need silence, and pretending otherwise is just self-deception. Anything requiring truly novel problem solving, learning completely new concepts, or reading dense technical material for the first time genuinely benefits from silence or the most minimal possible audio, because your brain needs maximum available bandwidth for building new neural pathways. The genre to task matching breakdown, and this is worth writing down: use classical or piano covers for analytical work in spreadsheets, lo-fi or ambient electronic for writing and creative work, nature sounds like rain or brown noise for reading and learning, and binaural beats for your deepest, most cognitively demanding sessions when you need to be completely locked in. Let's talk about the trap that kills all of this: playlist building procrastination, where you spend 45 minutes curating the perfect focus music instead of actually working. And I know you've done this. I've definitely done this, because the act of organizing music feels productive without requiring any of the actual mental output of the real work. The fix is brutally simple: pick one playlist, any decent focus playlist, and commit to using it for 30 days without switching, because consistency beats optimization here, and a decent playlist you actually use every day beats a perfect playlist you spend forever building and then abandon after a week. Here's a question that should bother you a little: how many hours have you already lost to suboptimal audio environments, working at 60% focus for 2 hours when you could have been at 90% focus for 90 minutes and gotten the same output with 30 minutes back in your day? The compounding effect of this is enormous. If you get even one extra focused hour per day by optimizing your audio environment, that's 365 hours per year, which is basically 9 full 40-hour workweeks of additional productive time that you currently leave on the table because you never thought critically about what's playing in your ears. One last thing that most productivity channels skip: the off switch, because your brain needs contrast to maintain sensitivity. If you listen to focus music for 8 hours straight every day, it stops working, the neural novelty fades, you develop tolerance. So treat focus music like a tool you pick up and put down rather than a permanent ambient life soundtrack. Build in at least a few hours of genuine silence or natural sound every day, not silence as absence, but silence as a deliberate reset, and your brain will respond to the music more powerfully when you do bring it back in, because contrast is what makes any signal meaningful in the first place. The 3 things to take away right now: lyrics are almost always focus killers, so go instrumental. Match your music genre to the specific type of task you're doing instead of using one playlist for everything, and build a consistent focus track you use repeatedly so your brain learns to associate it with deep work and triggers that state automatically. What's the one song or playlist that actually gets you into focus mode? Drop it in the comments below, because I'm building a community playlist from your suggestions and I'll pin the best ones so everyone here can use them.